Why do top professionals, executives, organizational leaders, and speakers like Tony Robbins, Lisa Nichols, Simon Sinek, Obama, why do they get the help of a voice coach? Well, the answer is that each of these, along with many other top influencers and speakers in their field, they know that continued success depends on their ability to communicate. Now, the same goes for highly successful doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, content creators, coaches. They all rely on their communication skills to succeed. Now, this means if your profession is relying on communication, then you need to start thinking of your voice as your tool to get your message heard. Now, there are 3 key factors which are going to help to make this happen for you. First, discover what it is that's holding you back from success and then get over that hurdle. Go out, learn the skills necessary to improve your voice and your communication, and then that's going to catapult you to that next level of success. Now, once you're able to do this, that's going to move you into factor number 2. You're going to find that you will have more opportunities open to you to build on your brand. You'll have the confidence and the skills to go out there and start using your voice more and more. You'll be able to get speaking engagements. You'll be able to start that digital course that you wanted. You could have a podcast. You can go and get radio interviews, be on webinars, have guest spots on other people's shows. And that leads you to the 3rd factor. More opportunities will open up, and this is going to lead you on to greater levels of success. And that impacts then obviously your income and your influence over others. So how can you go about this? How could you improve your voice? Well, the first thing is you have to start thinking of your voice as an instrument. Your voice is an instrument. I say this all the time. Once you unlock the power and the fullness of your voice in your sounds, you're going to hear things differently. I tell you, you will never turn back. You will hear the sounds not only from yourself, but the sounds of others in a whole new way. You're going to hear conversations on a new level. You're going to see people differently. And I actually mean this in a good way. So in this video series, I'm going to share with you some of the top tips that I share with many of my top private clients. Now, I'm on a mission to change as many voices as I can, and I want to give you some insight and some training so that you can improve your voice, your career, maybe even your life. Now, when you can communicate what is remarkable, what's exceptional about you, then you become irreplaceable in the marketplace, right? So here's a few defining facts. Your voice speaks louder than what you have to say. And your voice makes people believe what you have to say. There have been multiple studies on this topic, ranging from the well-known 755-38 rule, where it was determined that only 7% of what we say accounts for how people perceive us, and a whopping 93% attributes to our body language, our facial expression, and our voice. Now, more recent studies have even indicated that the voice is now more important than our body language. Now, whether or not you believe these statistics or not, you have to agree that the voice plays a vital role in determining how you're going to keep your listeners interested in you, in your content, and in your message. You can't just rely on your information. You have to improve in your delivery. But the good news is, if you're noticing that people aren't responding to you the way that you want them to, you can work on and improve the sounds which you are making. So I want you to take a good look at yourself. Be honest. Do you think that your voice is boring? Do people lose interest and switch off? And would you like to learn how to use your voice with more interesting sounds? Then, you need to, first of all, get lower in your pitch. Go higher when you get excited. Get a little bit faster. Get when you get animated. Get slower when you have something that you really want to stress. Play with your volume. Stop. Take a pause. You'd be absolutely amazed at how this can impact your speaking. So as I've said, your voice is an instrument. But nobody ever teaches us how to use this instrument unless we're trained as a singer or an actress. We learn our sounds by mimicking the sounds we hear around us. But those sounds are not always the right sounds that we should be using. Then suddenly, you find that this amazing instrument, it's not in tune anymore. And why? Because nobody ever taught you how to tune your voice. Now, so many people are worried about getting a piece of paper, getting another degree, getting another certification that's going to make them look fantastic on their resume. But what happens when they go in for that job interview? Then maybe they even get that job, luckily, and they start communicating. All of these degrees, it doesn't fix the problem that they're not effective in their communication. I can tell you, ineffective communication or even horrible sounding voices could be costing you or your organization huge amounts of money. I want you to think of a couple of scenarios here with me. Imagine a woman applying for an executive position in a company. She goes into this interview, and when she opens up her mouth to speak, we hear, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I've had 20 years of experience, and I believe I'm a good candidate for this job because..." We are hearing the voice of a very young girl. It's a girly sounding voice. She's still stuck in that little girl. Now, she's not going to gain the respect that she seeks. She might lose out on that job because she sounds with this high voice, inexperienced and lacking credibility. Did you ever think that the wrong sounding voice could even be costing you or your organization a lot of money? Now, I meet people every day who don't like the sounds of their own voice. And then there's some people whose voices, they just don't suit their personality or their position. Now, think about this one. What about the voices from those call centers that you just can't stand because we can't understand? We have a very good promotion, very good promotion. You can't understand them because they have a very strong accent, and English is not their mother tongue. Nobody's ever trained these people into slowing down, speaking clearly, enunciating every syllable of the words. Now, it's really frustrating, and it must be costing these companies millions of dollars, ruining the reputations of the companies behind the people making these calls. Problems like these could be costing you or your company hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars. It could even be costing you your job. How you deliver information to your clients is a career-defining decision. So what are you doing to protect yourself against the risk of losing money and losing out on potential success? It's possible you don't even realize that you're making any mistakes. So here's my tip. Start recording yourself a lot more. Identify what you like and what you don't like about the sound of your voice. You can change the sound of your voice. You're not the voice that you're born with. And when you do change, you're going to have the power to choose how you are perceived and how you want people to feel and act around you. Start to use what I call the 5 essential elements of voice in your speaking. We've got pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tonality. You know, just a really small adjustment to any of these can make a massive difference in your speaking. So I'm going to ask you, what are you prepared to do about your voice? Think about it. What do you hope to accomplish with your communication skills? And is your voice ready?